Hello everyone, Cousin here, and in this video, I'm gonna be solving Wordle number 1398 and New York Times Hard Sudoku for April 17th, 2025. So let's get this video started with Wordle number 1398. I'm gonna start with the word slimy. Oh, I got the S green, so I've placed S as the first letter, and all other letters I've guessed are not part of the word. So I can guess something else like, um, like stone. Let's try that. Okay, place the S, T, and O. I still need to guess the remaining two letters. Stock is an available option. It's quite likely as well. Um, let's actually try that. Not. Okay. It could be stood, stout. Hmm. Let's try stout. Oh dear. Um, I think it might be stood. Let's try that. Okay, it is stood. I actually thought of this option along with stock, but I don't know. For some reason, my gut did not tell me this was the answer. Um, but anyway, you can't really predict a Wordle answer perfectly, so yeah, it took quite a few tries trying to get there, but eventually guessed the Wordle answer stood in 5 tries. So yeah, the whole board is green for today. Um, Yeah, just make my guesses based on the previous clues. Alright, this is Wordle number 1398. Got today's Wordle answer stood in 5 tries. Let's move on to New York Times Sudoku. Again, today is April 17th, 2025. Let's start the hard difficulty Sudoku for today. The, the digit 2 in block 2 is forced into one of these two cells and into one of these two cells in block 4. I see that in column 5, the digit 2 is quite um limited to some places. This cell sees 2, this cell sees 2, and this cell also sees another 2. But 2 still has to go somewhere in column 5 because it's missing. So 2 is forced into one of these two cells in this column. And because 2 is guaranteed into one of these two cells, no other open cells in block 5 can contain the 2. Now look at row 4. I have to put 2 somewhere because it's missing. This cell sees 2. I've just eliminated 2 from this cell because of the 2 being guaranteed into one of these two cells, and this also sees 2. So these open cells in row 4 cannot contain 2, but I still have to put 2 somewhere in this row because it's missing. So actually, the digit 2 in row 4 is forced into this cell. Because this... Okay, so for row 4, 2 can only go into one of these two cells, and in column 5, 2 can only go into one of these two cells. And as you can see, they overlap in the same block. And to satisfy both row 4 and column 5, I can only put the 2 in this cell. And this is the only solution. So yeah, 2 in this cell. These ones point left, and this one points up to force the digit 1 into this cell in block 3. These 9s point right to force the digit 9 into this cell in block 3, leaving a 3/8 pair in block 3, which also applies to column 9. So this cell sees 8 from this pair, so the digit 8 in block 9 is forced into one of these two cells. We have these 8s pointing up, and this cell sees another 8. So in block 1, the digit 8 is forced into this cell, which actually resolves the 3 8s pair, like this. 8 in block 5 is forced into this cell. These 8s point right, and this cell sees another 8. This 3 points down, and this 3 points right. So in block 8, the digit 3 is forced into column 6. So these 3s point up, and this cell sees another 3. So in block 2, the digit 3 is forced into this cell. These 3s point right. They point left, and this cell sees another 3. The digit 1 in block 6 is forced into one of these two cells. This 4 points down, and this 4 points left. So in block 7, the digit 4 is forced into this cell. These 4s point right, and this cell sees another 4. So in block 9, the digit 4 is forced into this cell. All of these 4s force the digit 4 into this cell in block 2, and the last 4 in this Sudoku puzzle is forced into this cell. Okay, so all 4s are placed, which is really nice, so I can move on to another digit. No need to worry about 4s anymore. I see that 1 and 6 are the missing digits of row 2. And in row 4, 1, 5, and 6 are the missing digits. This cell sees a 6, and this cell sees 1. In row 3, 1, 5, and 7 are the missing digits. 1, 5, 7, 1, 5, 7, and this cell sees 1, so it's 5 or 7 only. And in column 5, 5, 7, and 9 are the missing digits. In column 2, 1, 3, and 5 are the missing digits. This cell sees 1, so it's only 3 or 5, which also means that the digit 1 in column 2 is forced into one of these two cells, and because 1 is guaranteed into one of these two cells, even if it's not for block 4, and if it's based on column 2, if it's guaranteed into one of these two cells, then no other open cells in block 4 can contain a 1. So this cell cannot be a 1. Because in column 2, 1 must appear in one of these two cells. It's a must. So I can't have another open cell in block 4 containing a 1. So after eliminating 1 from this cell, look at the placement of 1 in row 4. I've just eliminated 1 from this cell, and this cell also sees 1. So in row 4, the digit 1 is forced into this cell, which places 1 in this cell in block 2, and resolves the 1-6 pair in row 2. Now this one points down, and gets the 1 placed in this cell in block 7. 2, 5, and 7 are the missing digits of block 2. Okay, in block 7, 5, 6, and 9 are the missing digits. So 9's here, and these 9's force 9 into this cell in block 4. These 9's point down, and 9 goes into one of these two cells in block 5. Actually, I can just mark down 5, 7, and 9 as the missing digits of block 5. So similarly, 6 is here, and this 6 points up. So the digit 6 in block 1 is forced into this cell. This cell is 3, 5, or 7, but not 5, because of the 5, 6, 9 triple down here. Or alternatively, I can just look at column 1 and say that these 3 open cells form a 2, 3, 7 triple. Okay, in row 8, 6 is a missing digit, so I have to put it somewhere in this row. But this cell sees 6, this cell sees 6, and this cell also sees another 6. So in row 8, the digit 6 is forced into this cell, leaving behind 5, 7, and 9 in this row, but these two cells see 9. So in row 8, the digit 9 is forced into this cell, leaving a 5, 7 pair in this row. But this cell also sees 5. So 7 and 5 this way to complete the row. And then, um, let's see. The digit 9 in block 5 is forced into this cell. Okay, in block 8, 2, 3, 6, and 7 are the missing digits. For now, I think it's possible to be in any of these cells. 3 is here, 6 is, well, this 6 forces 6 into one of these two cells, and 7 is forced into one of these two cells down here. This cell now sees a 5. 7 in block. Oh, wait. I made a mistake. Oh dear. Um, hopefully this didn't affect the, um, hopefully this did not break the Sudoku puzzle. I misscanned. So it's not 5 and 6 that are missing from row 4. It's instead 5 and 7. 7 rather than 6. But I think the placement of this one is still correct, because we've got one here and one here. So I think this one is still correct, but it's just the 7 that's missing instead of 6. Okay, wow, I'm glad that I spotted it, because this cell sees a 7. So 5 and 7 this way, which makes us a 5, 7, 2 and 5, 3 and 7. Now, hopefully, the Sudoku puzzle is not broken, because if it's broken, I'll have to redo it because of just one careless mistake. Misscanned. Don't know how that happened. Alright. But things are so far so good. 5 and 7 this way. This 2 points down. Completing column 6 by having a 3 and 7 like this. 2, 6 pair in column 4. Um, this cell sees 5, so 1 and 5 this way. This one comes back to the right, making this cell a 1, which makes an 8, which places 8 in this cell, and gets the last 8 in this Sudoku placed in this cell in block 9. In column 8, 2 and 3 are the missing digits. In row 6, 2 and 3 are missing, but this cell sees 3. So 2 and 3 this way, 2 and 3, 2, 6, 2. In row 5, we have 6 and 7 as the missing digits, but this cell sees a 7. So 6 and 7 this way. 6 in block 9 is forced into this cell. This is a 5 to complete the column, and this Sudoku puzzle is complete. Alright, I finished today's New York Times Hot Sudoku in a bit over 11 minutes. So I would say this Sudoku puzzle is quite straightforward in terms of hard difficulty. I don't think I got stuck at any part at all, so I'll go over some key spots as a quick summary. So towards the beginning, there was this 2. The placement of this 2 was quite useful for progress. As soon as you spot that the digit 2 in row 4 could only go into one of these two cells, and in column 5, 2 could only go into these two cells, you just have to find out that one cell that satisfies both row 4 and column 5, which is this cell only. So I had to put a 2 into this cell. Otherwise, either row 4 or column 5 would be broken. Like, literally, I had to place a 2 here to satisfy row 4 and column 5. Um, I think in column 2, forcing a 1 into one of these two cells helped place 1 in row 4. And I had that little careless mistake, which luckily did not cause the Sudoku puzzle to be broken. That would have been very bad, so be very, very careful and aware of mistakes when solving a Sudoku puzzle, because if I just carried on like that, or if I had other mistakes, I'll have to redo if it is broken. But luckily, I spotted it and corrected it. So yeah, 5 and 7 were missing instead of 5 and 6. I don't think there was any pairs or triples to spot. It was just the pairs or triples formed by the missing digits of certain blocks. So yeah, just nothing much special. So I feel like this is just mostly straightforward. If you have any other questions or difficulties, feel free to leave them in the comments down below. I'll be glad to reply you, and hopefully this video helped. Today is April 17th, 2025. In this video, I've solved Wordle number 1398 and New York Times Hard Sudoku for today. See you all next time. Bye!